Today we're gonna make peanut butter fudge, but we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way because you know what? That way is the best way, in my opinion, to make a super creamy peanut butter fudge that is, oh my gosh, so easy to make and absolutely delicious. Welcome to The Salted Pepper, where we cook for real life using real food and we keep it real simple. And today we're gonna make an old-fashioned peanut butter fudge. And this is a super easy recipe, so do not worry. You only need a few ingredients, a thermometer, and it's gonna take about 10 minutes, and that's it. Now, I've thought about making peanut butter fudge before, but I've always used a recipe from Alton Brown that is microwave fudge. And you know what? It's pretty darn good. I like it, but it's a little too sweet and it just didn't have the depth of peanut butter flavor. So this year I decided I'm going to forget about my hesitation of making a cooked peanut butter fudge and just give it a try. Oh my goodness, I was blown away at how easy it is. And I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. You can do it in a saucepan on the stove, you can do it in the Ninja Foodi or your Instant Pot, whatever you wanna use is fine. We're only gonna use the sear saute function for this recipe. 1 cup of vitamin D whole milk, I'm gonna put in there. You could probably use a lesser fat milk, a 2%, but really, you know, we're making fudge. So go ahead and get the vitamin D. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the sear saute on high. All right, now our sugar goes in. We're gonna put in 2 cups of white sugar and 2 cups of brown sugar. Now I know, people are probably screaming, what? That's a lot of sugar, and it is, but it makes 3 pounds of fudge. So you can easily cut this recipe in half and just make 1.5 pounds of fudge. So it makes a ton of fudge, really. It's a wonderful recipe and it's so quick and easy. Then we're gonna put in 1 teaspoon of fine grind sea salt, and that's all we need to add right now. We don't add in the peanut butter yet, we don't add in the vanilla yet. So what we wanna do is melt the sugars, combine it with the milk, and we're gonna bring this mixture to 239 or 240 degrees. You don't wanna go above that or you're gonna end up having some chalky, kind of dry fudge. And we want it super, super creamy. So I usually stir it until everything is dissolved, and then I stop stirring and just let it come up to the right temperature. All right, so while that is starting to heat up, I'm gonna grab the pan because I wanted to talk to you about the size of the pan that I'm using. This is 11.5 by 9. That's the interior measurements. It is about a 1/4 pan size. So if you've ever seen a sheet tray, that's a half pan. This is half of the half pan. And I have it lined with parchment, and I also put a little bit of butter down, just like this, to help it stick where it needs to be in the groove. So when we pour in the fudge, it kind of spreads out in an even layer. This pan has a 1-inch lip, so our fudge is gonna be about 1 inch tall. If you didn't have this size pan, don't worry about it. You can use a smaller pan and your fudge is just gonna be thicker. You can use a bigger pan and your fudge is gonna be thinner. So it's fine, you can use whatever you have on hand, but just know that you're gonna have various thickness of your fudge. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put just a very thin layer of butter on the bottom, and I'm using a wrapped cube of cold butter, actually, because I don't need a whole bunch of butter on the bottom here, but I just like to put a little layer. And that's it. Now we just wait for the fudge to boil, which takes somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. And then we will get it whipped up, and you can do that either by hand or like I'm gonna use a stand mixer because it makes it super easy. Or you could use a hand mixer too and do the same thing. But I'm gonna use the paddle function on my KitchenAid because it just makes it super easy. All right, so it's starting to boil. I've got little bubbles all across the top. Those bubbles are gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger as it heats up, and we're already seeing that right over here. And now I just don't stir, and I put in my instant read, or you can use a candy thermometer in, and I just wait until it gets to 239 or 240 degrees. And we are already at 230 30. So see how fast this is? I love it. We are almost there, guys. So it's like 236, 237. And if you go down to the bottom, it's going to go up in temperature. So make sure you're in the middle of the mixture, not on the bottom, because on the bottom it's going to read like 240, 241. And we want to be in the middle of the mixture. We want to be at 239 to 240. All right, so there we are. Now turn the Ninja Foodi off. And you can either put the peanut butter in while it's in the pot, but I like to just go ahead and take the pot out. Now this is nothing like making peanut brittle or anything like that. It's definitely not that temperamental. But if it does overcook, it does get a little kind of crumbly. And so we want to try to avoid that. Now we're going to go ahead and put in our peanut butter. This is 1.5 cups of creamy peanut butter. So we're going to go ahead and put this in. That peanut butter will immediately cool down the mixture, the sugars in the milk, and then we're just going to let it melt in and give it a stir. And just keep stirring until it's nicely melted. Meanwhile, I'm going to move the Ninja Foodi, and I'm going to get my mixer up here, and I'm going to put it in the mixer. But if you wanted to do this by hand, you can. You just need to keep stirring and stirring and stirring and stirring until it thickens up. But you know what? That takes too much time, and I'm going to use my KitchenAid. All right, the last thing I'm gonna do before I get this into the stand mixer is add in 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract and get that stirred in. And then we're gonna pour this mixture into the bowl of the stand mixer. All right, so once it's into the bowl, I'm just gonna put this over here, lock it into place, lower the lid, lock it into place, and turn it on. This is gonna smooth everything out, release the heat, cool it down, so that when we pour it into our pan, it's gonna set up and be really nice and creamy. Some people say that you beat it until it is no longer shiny, but I don't find that to be the case. I find that I do better when I go by the way it falls off of the spatula. It's going too fast right now, okay? So it's not quite ready. And that's how I judge, just based on how it falls right off when I lift this up. So we're not quite ready. This takes maybe 5 minutes or so. It smells so good. It's unreal. All right, that's getting a little slower to fall off, but not quite ready. So maybe another minute or so. All right, let's see. It should be done now. And that is perfect. So see how slow it's going. That's what you want to see. It's going really, really slow. So that looks perfect. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and take this off. Scrape all this. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. All right, set that over there. Now, this bowl is gonna be really hot, so be careful, okay? If you need to, put on some mitts. The handle's not hot, but the bowl itself is. All right, so now we're just gonna go ahead and pour this in to our pan. I try to get it mostly in the middle. We're gonna have a little bit of time to spread it out. And I know it tastes amazing because I've already made it so many times. I think I made this one like 4 times. All right, so now I'm just gonna go and see, make sure you can see. So That's a chef's treat. So if you ever get any on your fingers, you can eat it. All right, now I'm just gonna spread this out into as even of a layer as I can. Don't worry about the top being too smooth or anything, because at the very end, I'm gonna go back over and kind of make like a little design like it was on purpose. Gives character to your fudge, I think. You could also get another piece of parchment and put it on top and then sort of flatten it out that way, but I don't usually bother with that. The most important thing to me is having it kind of uniform so that all the pieces are the same. All right, that looks pretty good. But I'm gonna put a little bit of a design on the top just to make it look a little bit better. So I'm just gonna take my spatula and kind of go across and back and across and back. Now I am moving it, but I'm not making it like really high in one area. Just trying to give it a little bit of character on the top. All right, all done. Now you can just let it sit on the counter until it is set up, which takes a couple of hours, but I've already made some, so I get to taste it right now for you guys. All right, so the design on the top of this one turned out so beautiful. They're always a little bit different, so if you don't let it cool down as much as I did before putting it in the mixer, sometimes you can spread it a little bit better. But anyway, it's beautiful, it's gonna taste delicious, and nobody's gonna care what it looks like, let me tell you. All right, so this is the perfect fudge. It is creamy. It is peanut buttery, if you like peanut butter. It is soft and it melts in your mouth. It is absolutely perfect. When you break it, it is just beautiful on the inside. It's just simply gorgeous. I'm so pleased with this recipe. I just love it. All right, here goes. Taste. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I hope you love this recipe. I've had a ton of people ask me for it, and I think they thought that I might make it like I did my last fudge, which was put it in the pressure cooker. But you know what? This turned out so well. I just wanted to share it with you. So this is my homemade old-fashioned peanut butter fudge, and we're making it in a new fashion machine, the Ninja Foodi.